I'm gonna take the case off. It's getting in the way.
Yeah, don't worry, take it off.
Actually, no, I'll squeeze it. I'll squeeze it in.
No, take it off.
I can squeeze it in. It works. It's just a little bit tight.
You're fine.
Yeah, no, it's really nice.
Wait. So is the speaker on? Is the speaker connected?
Speaker's not gonna fit here.
Yeah, so if it's not going to fit, just leave it outside.
We can put it behind it or underneath it.
No, it's fine.
No, but like the wires.
Play the power bank.
Yeah, we're good. Then, yeah, we
Are the LEDs supposed to be flashing or no?
currently, yes.
I want to try using this strap because I want to make it. So in the presentation, I asked, is it too loud?
Let's try it.
In the presentation, I say something like, the professor can ask, like, what's the question? Okay.
Just go closer.
Okay. Wait, can you test it out? Yeah, I'll yell at it.
There's too much noise around here.
Yeah, let's try it.
We're just going to wait. There's no point in us trying to figure it out.
What? Coffee?
Yeah.
Let's try one.
Like mine?
What's the question?
Anyway.
But you're gonna have to pump the volume up.
Hold it.
That's not here. Try it again.
Okay, there we go.
What's the question?
Wait. Mine's not at max. Yeah, mine's at max.
Yeah,
Sorry?
What's the question?
just try using voice command.
Okay, isn't recognized yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, the battery power bank's dead.
Honestly, if it's coming out, leave it outside.
The battery bank's just. What's the question?
What is your name?
Yeah. Good job. Can you say what's the question and can you type in?
Hello, judges. My name is Rebello.
Yes, do it all. Yeah.
No, make it long. Hello, judges. My name
just wanna
is
try to hide
Rebello,
these cables.
and I am teaching your home hypnosis.
Buddy.
Oh, yes.
That's what it's called.
Education buddy? It's not meant to be for the benefit of the teachers, though.
It's not for teachers.
Wait, wait for your friend come.
So only one person gets what?
That's it.
Can we just test it out before they get here?
Yeah.
Wait, but no
Here.
philosophies, right?
Watch one question be like one of the judges is
Can't use apostrophes.
wow. About that. You see apostrophes as cute as fuck
Josh.
What's the question?
And then, yeah, sure, but we're just waiting.
What's the question? Sorry, one second. What's the question?
What's the question?
Yeah, we actually did.
What's the question?
Oh, did you guys go to E5?
No.
What's the question? Did you send it? You sure? What's the question?
No, this is actually.
What is your name?
Okay. That was old?
Ask again.
What's the question?
Hello, judges. My name is Robelo and I'm the university's education buddy.
Okay, take out university, just be like an education buddy.
Okay. No, No, but we have to.
It says university, buddy.
What'd you say? What is it?
Yeah, kind of.
Is it your laptop?
It's not my
What you should
Arduino.
say?
No, I bought
What is it?
kind of hard.
Alright, are you all ready to pitch? I am.
All I know is it's to record like
Sorry, let's get going.
Okay, one
There's more
second.
than that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little sprinkle.
Hey, the only one person can pitch. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, she pitch.
You doing one person? Could we guys like do quality some of your space to put
It's
this
just me,
down?
because there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Kind of had a fish.
Sorry. Can you put your... Thank you. Can you take that one
In
over?
fact, I'm gonna put this underneath so I can see.
Yeah, as long as it's not good. I should also get that rest of the product after. Do you want to decide the size?
I am too. Up or down?
Is it on? How's that? Is it good, guys?
I might see you Wednesday. See you Wednesday.
You sure it's gonna work, Mike?
Gotta start even if it's not gonna.
Okay, so hi, I'm Julia, and our company is called Never Miss. So we created a robot called Rebello, and it's for sometimes for people that can't make it to class. Not because they're tired, not because they're too cold, or it's because they physically and emotionally can't get there. Personally, I was in a back brace for 4 months due to an infection in my spine, and I found it extremely difficult to stand in class, let alone sit in class. And my education was compromised. Sure, there were systems online that helped me get the basic help, but being an auditory and visual learner, I really needed to be in class in order to learn. Luckily, my injury was only short term, but this is a lasting problem for many people. Sometimes, such as people that struggle with mental illness, such as depression and anxiety, sometimes it's too stressful to be in the classroom setting because people are twice as likely to drop out if they have depression and can't feel like they can handle the environment. But we don't want your education to be compromised, and we want to help better adapt the learning environment. So, we have developed Robolo. He is an assistive technology that allows you to join your classmates in class while you are at home. It essentially sits in your lecture hall to capture the classroom environment for you. He works similar to a human, as there's 3 main parts of Rebello, and are his eyes, ears, and voice. He allows you to see what's happening and to listen to the lecture. His voice-activated response system is an interactive design that reduces the barrier of the screen. Communication is key in learning, and often missed in offline learning. He also records the front of the class, in order for you to have a front row seat to seeing the professor speak and to see the whiteboard. Lastly, Rebello also knows how to speak. You can voice your questions in class and ask Rebello what the question is when he lights up. Rebello, what's the question?
Louder.
What's the question? Sorry.
Yeah, it's a very loud classroom. Don't worry about it.
What's the question?
I think our battery died.
I'm just going to continue on.
What's the question?
Okay, so
You
we...
get 3 tries.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to wait, or...?
No, let's keep going.
Okay, so we've also developed a website which you can access Rebello from. So you access the live feed through your affiliated Waterloo Never Miss account using your WhatIM credentials to access the lectures. So the home site shows the lecture links like this, and then you can click on one of the links and it allows you to get the lectures, where you can also ask questions. So you can do this by inputting a question in the chat bar, similar to kind of like Facebook Messenger, which sends a response to Rebello, which lights up the colors on the front of him. It tells the teacher that someone online has a question. So it's a kind of a non-destructive way for people to ask a question in class that are online. So how is he different from like Skype, for example? He allows you to interact with class. It's a lightweight technology specifically designed to help you succeed in a school setting, which is why we've established a connection with accessibility to specifically have it for educational purposes and not for people that just don't want to go to class. So Rebello is also designed for a minimally invasive classroom, so to respect other students in the classroom. The soft light magnetic shape is gentle and non-destructive, just as the other ones in the class would be. There's also static application, so we keep a permanent fixture in the classroom, so there will be one in every classroom. So currently we've developed Rebello, and we also developed an interactive website using Google APIs and to establish communication between the two. But in future development, we really want our next milestone to be improved communication between accessibility and the students. So by creating 5-question survey to gauge their mental health. So to summarize, we would like Rebello to become a common source of information in class. And we would really like them to just know the students regularly. Rebello, what's the question? What's the question?
What's the question?
The lights are on.
Just could you send another question in?
What's the question?
What's the question?
Just give it a second.
What's the question?
Hello judges, my name is Robelo and I am the university's education buddy.
So this is what it would sound like if you were in class, and if the teacher said what's the question?
Okay, awesome. Questions to ask. I don't know if we have time, but so how much experience do you guys have building stuff like this? Zero. Just nothing? None of you have ever done anything like this?
Well, I've done CAD, but
That's really fucking impressive. So, just to summarize, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's fantastic. Let me check if there's any big ones I'm missing, because I do have to jump to the next. But yeah, that's really cool. Congrats on making it. That's so cool. And just so you know, you will be pitching 2 more times. So we're not sure if we made that super clear to everyone. Some know, some don't. So 2 more judges will sort of come around within the next hour and a half. To be 2 more.
Okay, awesome.
So this is like the qualifiers, and another final. No, this is going to be the be-all end all. So, yeah. So, best of luck.
Thank you.
Do you want to move out a little bit? Can you please? Thank you.
We need the dance
what's the question?
with this, right? Pull this up, and then you kept looking at water, which was great, so you looked at the graphics, but I wasn't looking at this. And so there's no movement.
Okay, but can we just, oh my god, why is there so many people posted? Can we just say that I focus on the presentation and then here's a really small type at the end? And you can just look at it that way.
Us four. So it's us four, and then everyone that if they fucked up.
So,
It's
what's your number?
33 times focus on the robot and this. Do you just not want, I cannot use the PowerPoint if you guys just want the live film.
Okay. So, tell me about what y'all want.
Okay.
So growing up, I met a lot of people,
Yeah, we just,
but one particular person, he would always stand out to me. Now this particular person, he always struggled to just make friends or go out with other people just because of the fact that, he looked a certain way and he wasn't always very confident. And he never seemed to feel welcome wherever he was because of that shyness to begin with. And I looked at him and it was obvious. This kid was a victim of abuse, mentally, physically, and whenever he was around people, they always seemed to make him feel dejected by the comments that they said. Now, you might be asking me why I know this much, because at the end of the day, that boy was me. Now, during this time, I truly would have appreciated if I knew who to turn to, or if I had any kind of resource which I could use to help me out. Now, this inspired our team here to create a resource which would make sure that these silenced voices would be heard and never be brought into the dark again.
Introducing We Are One. WOW is a platform made for desktop and mobile devices to allow victims of harassment to be able to immediately report a problem or get the support that they need. The report submission will guide you through a step-by-step process, and one thing that makes us unique than other resources out there is the fact that we accept digital proof. WOW uses a system which highlights keywords which are submitted in your report that will let you figure out exactly what kind of help that you need and from the resources that are available to us on our data.
Now, in my case, my report would be filtered using keywords concerning the physical and mental abuse that I had gone through, and then from there I'd be placed in an immediate queue, which would link me to, for example, the resources that I would need. In this case, it would be the police station as well as a local NGO, which would help me in the aftermath, the treatment that I would need to make sure that things get better in the long run. Now, WOW also utilizes Google Maps and their API to further narrow the search of available resources to approximately 30 kilometers within the victim's radius, depending on what kind of issues you're considering. Now, in my case, I would be immediately assisted by the Waterloo Regional Police as well as WAVE. a local youth empowerment organization tailored to helping kids like myself get the therapy they need to make sure physical and mental abuse does not occur to them in the future.
In order to facilitate support at all times, we have used Google's calendar system. By having that on our website, it provides us with it provides visitors of our site with a quick look of what support groups are available to them and when they can go to these support groups.
Now, we want our users to be able to release their emotions without feeling judged or pressured. That's why our system uses an anonymous chatbot integrated with Facebook Messenger. We use Facebook Messenger due to the familiarity users would have with that interface, and then in addition to that, we also have a method of building relationships. The concept of building relationships right now, we're working with major companies in the form of sponsorships and doing social good with those companies.
Another thing that we considered when we wanted to come up with our idea for this hackathon was not only cost of story, but also the fact that between 16 and 20% of individuals have experience abuse, but it does not get reported. So that was one thing that we're really considering. And what we wanted to do is basically have in our first year 2% increase, so that 2% decrease, 2% less of individuals who experience abuse do get reported to make sure that they're getting the help that they need and the support that they need. Also, in the next year we wanted 4%, and then we want to continue with this 4% trend because we knew that in their first year it would be difficult to get our brand out there. We don't know, people don't know us, we don't know them. They might be scared, especially if they're going through something like this. They might not trust us. But since we were considering having sponsors by companies so that we can get our brand out there and we can help them get their brand out there, especially since companies need to do so much good things in a year to get their get socially accepted. And so basically unite with us against these statistics and make sure that no voice goes unheard because we are one.
Okay, very impressive.
So we want to demonstrate to you both the chatbot and the interface.
Cool.
So as they were presenting, I was scrolling through the website and the web interface. So this is basically the landing page, and everything they talked about would be on here. And at the end, you can link to Facebook, which will link to the chatbot, which I have here because a lot of the features may show up more here. So if you want to report something, you can just type in something that has the word report.
Okay.
And then it would ask you, what would you like to report? And you say, my friend did something. And then it would say, it would access and say your report has been submitted and is currently under review. And based on what you typed in, it would list out a few resources for you. So you can recommend them to your friend, you can look at them yourself, and if you visit the site, it'll lead you to the actual site. And then if you want to say help for yourself, to get help, you can send a location, and then it'll give you, analyze it, and then if you submit something and you want to see the status where it's at, it will show you the status the current one is. And right now it's just this one.
Cool.
And the app interface.
So this is the app, so this is the starting point. So here you have submit a report, need support, and then you contact team and then so we had on the website before that show all the resources. So you submit a report, you fill out all that information. So yeah, then you can go contact.
You and Eddie location or they just
Email, appetite,
Okay. That is amazing. Do any of you have experience building this kind of stuff before? Not really? No minimal experience?
Yeah.
How did you divide the work? Like, who built the app, the chatbot, the site?
So we split it up. We have two business, one dev and one design. So it was pretty much evenly split. But everybody helped and
Yeah.
like everyone brought in their input.
we're all like brainstorming
And the biggest thing that we consider was the fact that since we have minimal experience as users, it'll be a lot easier for us if we try and figure it out in that sense, because then we'll understand how, as the user, can we make it easy to get access to whatever you need, and how can we encapsulate an audience as soon as we get in and break that barrier to entry in the first place.
Okay, cool. Alright, so just so you all know, there are 2 more people coming around to listen to pitches. The goal is for a 3-minute pitch. Hopefully that was good before. You guys did run a little bit over, but it definitely wasn't rambling, so at least you got that on your side. That was awesome. And yeah, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Huh? I saw it. Huh? You move it up. Huh?
There's 3 of you here?
No. Because it's congested.
Oh no, no, just leave it on.
Oh, okay.
It's fine if we can.
Yep.
And you're taking none of it in because we're You're a good young urban professional. You went out here smart. Things are too.
Let's like get
You're a farm buyer. If you want to get restaurants, the best of which your phone has done the It's built like opinions are very notoriously most
You get an A+. Should I ask? Is that an A+ pitch?
And here's the thing I tried, right? So the way your battery bank, the way it works is that it's really low on charge right now. So the only way I can get the lights to turn on is if I hit the power button.
Okay, what you can do is, I can bring my...
And so what I'm doing, you can do that right now. Can you run?
Okay, can you run? Where is it? My legs are half broken. Where is it? Basically on my leg. Okay, my cell phone charger is basically the charger of this. See my cell phone charger. See what the battery? Where's the battery?
Actually, bro, got one in my pocket. Okay, plug this in. Okay, so here's the thing. What I tried to do, which was not too great, was as soon as the question was hit, I just hit the power button discreetly, and the light started flashing. Because look, you can't see the back of this thing at all, right? It's just you just see the front. So no one realizes the Arduino and the phones and everything. And my phone's at 45%, so it shouldn't probably last. But I'm gonna turn my phone off, okay? Just to save battery.
Yeah.
We'll turn it back on.
Don't turn my phone off.
Don't worry, your phone is fine. Well, this is a little robot we made, which allows you to basically go to class without actually being in class. So it's meant for people with like disabilities and those who find reasons why they can't be in class, right? So, I mean, you know how like in some classes they make you like take notes for people who aren't there? What if this allowed you to basically be in class? Because for one, there's a video stream, it's a live stream. It just like shows the entire class, teacher, everything live to the person watching on a web-based interface. And the other thing is, it also allows the person watching to ask questions. And when you ask questions, right, it lights up. The power's not coming through right now, but it should light up. And then when it lights up, right, the teacher can look at it and say, okay, what's your question? Just like it would say to a regular student. And then it will tell the teacher what the question is.
So is it like the voice, or does it make it?
It'll make noise, yeah. It'll make a voice.
No, it's a voice control.
Oh yeah, it's voice control. So the teacher will go up to it and say, "What's your question?" And then it'll just say the question. So it's basically like a student, and then like there could be many students on it at once. So like kids from like all over the world, it could change the way like online teaching is done, online courses, and yeah, and it's like tripod mountable. Makes a difference.
So like, how would the student ask the question? Is it typed?
So it's typed in. Like we have a web interface. This laptop, yeah. So the student just types in. Actually, you want to try it? Why don't you type in a question there? Huh? That's fine. I got it. So just like ask a question there, but don't put any apostrophes, please.
You might want to lower the volume.
Oh, true.
Not that much.
What happens if you have a typo?
Doesn't matter. We'll see.
Is it
We'll see how it deals with it. Send enter. Hit enter.
It would go eventually.
Okay. Again, the power is kind of messed up, so the light's not going to turn on, but it's gotten the question. So now I just need to go up to it, and I'm the teacher, okay? And I know there's a question there. So I go up and say, what's your question? What's the question? What's the question?
Hello.
Wait. Is that what
That
you
was old. That was old.
That was an older one. It's got some stuff. What's the question?
What is the color of the sky?
And then, yeah, the teacher could just answer straight to that.
How did you actually like make it work?
A lot of shit. A lot of stuff. We were working all night, and that took like 9 hours to print, so...
Tells you a little bit about us and just like how
You type in another question if you want.
you can find and then
We're just trying to get it consistent, you know? Like, figure out the patterns and make it work.
what's up and contact us or support. And you can
And I want to try put a question mark at the end, see if that changes it.
I did.
Oh, you did? You did? Okay.
Power it down with the battery. Like after this cohort, just like power it down because like this is Rebello. His battery's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just letting you guys like.
We're just trying to figure out what exactly the bugs are.
You
So we
know
don't
the
mess up
limits of the system. I'm just letting you know that like in an hour, if you think it's last an hour, great.
Okay? You good? What's the question? Go again. Go again. What's the question?
Your favorite color is blue. ISNT it.
Isn't it?
Oh. Did you put it in caps or something?
No, I just didn't include the commentary.
Oh.
So basically, the way we
Yeah,
came
that's-
You could have said, is it not?
we wanted to bridge a gap.
So that's
Because
like
at the end of the
really
day,
amazing.
like if we saw that like 16 to 20% of abuse goes
Good job.
reported, and because of
Was it
that,
just
we knew that there had to be some way
Well,
we could create
software,
like a data
hardware.
set, or search engine
That's
for those
basically it.
resources.
We made this, and
depending
then
on what
those guys
kind of
made
report
like
you made.
the slides and
So
stuff.
from that, we
Presentation.
created the resource, and then that's where we saw like, you know, you
These guys
you
were like
have
the
some
backbone.
methods
They
to
did all
get
the code.
the exact help that you need in your own area. And if you can do that, and if you have those resources, we could decrease the number of people who don't report these issues, especially because you can also report this issue as an anonymous problem. And then you can take it, and then from there report it based on someone you've seen it with.
But yeah, that was working nice.
That was working well. It's like when I speak, you speak straight into it and it works.
So basically,
Maybe I should just
like,
be
the way
behind
the
here,
flow
just like
works
speak into it.
would be that
Yo,
you first
power it down.
first
So it's
say
like the
that
next
you have a
judge.
relationship with this person.
You'll be here in like 1 hour or something. So like, how are both phones
Where
down?
they were last
Like
seen.
within the hour.
And then from
Within
there,
an hour?
you can run
Yeah,
it through
within an hour.
databases to prove evidence.
Like this is power it
Your
down.
phone is going to be really hard to
Something
reach
like
from
it's
here.
a piece of domestic abuse and have proof, it'll immediately get sent to the police.
Or you know you can like double tap on it and it'll turn off.
I know, but your phone, it still can't access its screen.
Yeah, it might go to the depending on the type of issue. You know, because some people they see their friend going through something like this, but you can stay anonymous in that.
Yeah. Oh, and then me ask, like what the question is.
We just tried that with a girl and it worked really well.
Yeah, a girl just came back.
Let's pre-live with like, hello, my name is Rebello. And then after he says that, we can like try it again.
Or we could just have the judge load the question at the beginning of the presentation, and then I say, like, what was the judge's question?
Let's not do the reload. I think that messes stuff up. Let's just the judge do it. And then, like, a girl just came here and we demoed to her, and that went perfectly. So, yeah, I think.
So we'll just get the judge to
Yeah, just like leave.
And engage support groups as well, because I think those go, like a lot of people overlook those types of organizations.
Did you turn
so
it
many
down?
available, but a lot of people simply don't go
That's not
because
power
they're
down.
scared. We want to make sure that fear is
Oh, it'll take
eliminated.
another 10
It's
seconds.
more of like an open dialogue that we have between us and the user. That's why the chat bot is
Oh, wow, it's powered back on. Okay. Double tap.
Okay, you have to go home and double tap.
Oh.
Wait, are we presenting
Wait.
Oh. See, like the metal on my phone's turning yours back on. For now,
It turned off. Okay, it turned back on. Just double tap. Yep, good. Let's leave it as it.